Hi, welcome to this week's market report for the week of January the 6th, 2019. So we've got some market alerts, and as usual, it's mostly produce. So we'll get to those, talk a little more in depth when we get to the produce section. So poultry, here's what we've got going in poultry. It's starting to move up a little bit, all the areas of the poultry market. So breasts are moving up and they're pulling the tenders along with them. Wings are up because of the seasonal demand, and that's really starting to climb now. And dark meat's also steady and might be increasing due to exports. So the beef market, we've come off a holiday. Typically you'll expect to see the beef market start to come down. Because of the weather conditions not being great and some distribution issues, the market's held a little bit steadier than normal. So you should start to see a pretty good drop, possibly starting next week. We do see some upturns though on grinds, with the demand on grinds and inside rounds. Supplies are low on those particular products and the demands are high, so those prices are up a little bit, but expect to see some seasonal slowdown on beef starting hopefully next week. So dairy, for the block and barrel markets, they are up slightly due to demand, and the inventories that we've had are starting to dwindle. Same thing with the shell eggs. We're going to start to see things level off, and we should see the dairy market and the egg market start to come down a little bit as inventories are starting to ramp back up again. Okay, so produce. This is where most of our volatility comes in. So right now we've got some cool temperatures in Mexico, which are causing some issues, excuse me, and some rain coming out of California causing some issues, as well as changing those growing regions, which also plays a factor in all the produce. So whenever one area is running out of supply and the next area is starting to harvest, there's usually a gap. So that's what we're seeing on some of these items. On the celery, supply is lower than normal. Demand is very high. So that product's still coming out of Oxnard, which is California. The supply is expected to improve in the next few weeks. Good news is the product that's coming out is at least a good product. So kale, we're looking at shortages of kale right now due to the weather conditions and the transitions, as we talked about in the season, the different growing regions. And demand for kale right now is very strong. It's one of those hot items. So green onions, very, very light supply coming out of Mexico. You can probably expect prices to stay up on green onions for the next few weeks here. There's always a strong demand for green onions. And with the very light supply, you're going to see, of course, higher prices. The bell pepper availability is also not real great, and that's typical through the winter months. You'll usually see peppers going up quite a bit. Quality is just okay. It's not really great. Prices are up and quality's iffy. So just sort of be prepared for that. If there's anything you can substitute, this might be a good time to do that for bell peppers. So other commodities, there's a lot of volatility right now, and a lot of people are looking at these trade agreements to see what's going to happen on many, many different commodities, whether it's soybeans, corn, seafood, which is really not a commodity, but all the different items that we're using in cooking and eating are very volatile because of these trade agreements. So hopefully we'll see some good news coming out of those. We're glad that nothing is increased past what it has right now. It hasn't hit the 25% tariff. So anyway, we'll keep you posted on those and see what happens. So that wraps up this week's market report. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to download our new app, the helpknx app. That's HELPKNX. You can register for gig work now in the hospitality industry. A lot of people are saying it's like Uber. So again, thanks for watching. Also, we've got our free website, www.helpknx.com. See you next week.